What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction video, and I'm excited because in this one we have the 10 greatest and unpopular Indian inventions. 10 greatest and unpopular. That's a very specific topic, I guess. But here we are with Keerthi history. I'm excited about it. Before we do dive in, please, if you would like to support the channel by becoming a member, there is a link in the description section where you can sign up and receive exclusive benefits. I know I see a lot of you guys suggesting different videos that you like me to react to. Well, that's one of the benefits that will come with being a member. So if you'd like to do that, link in the description section, and we're going to dive into this video.
When it comes to history, I don't really think our school books do enough justice about it. Everyone knows about the Isaac Newton and the apple story, but how many of us know about the stories of Ramanujan and C.V. Raman? Let me ask you a question. Name 3 great inventions that changed the course of the world. Now, when I said invention, most
3 great inventions. Railways, ships, internet. We'll go with those 3.
of us would have automatically thought about an English name, a French, a Greek, or to simply say a name from the West. But do you have any idea that India has a rich history of discoveries and inventions, and many of these have significant impact on our day-to-day life? So today I'm going to tell you the 10 things that were discovered in India that changed the history of the world. Number 1, diamonds. Today, the majestic diamonds of India are once again in the hot spot thanks to the Ambanis, but India has always been known for diamonds since ancient times. Did you know India was the only source of diamond in the entire world until 18th century? That was just 300 years ago. India is the first country in the world where diamonds were found and traded, and it's estimated that India was trading diamonds as early as 4th century BCE, that is a minimum of 2,400 years. And there's a saying, but I'm not sure how true it is. When India was in its golden period, diamonds were sold on the streets like vegetables. In the early 1700s, diamonds were found in Brazil. Then in the late
sold on the streets like vegetables. India in the 1800s were the only country in the world where diamonds were coming out of. Like, that's insane. And how popular diamonds are today. India. Now I'm going to just say, I love y'all for the diamonds, but them diamonds get expensive. Bought one for my wife because I love her to death. I want to spend the rest of my life with her. But them diamonds be expensive. But let's continue the story. But if they were selling like vegetables, they couldn't have been that much back in those times because they were selling like vegetables. Here, you get a diamond, you get a diamond. So I imagine they couldn't have been as expensive as they are now. Awesome.
1800s, it was found in African countries. Then the whole diamond market shifted to the African continent.
Oh, wow.
So we can literally say any diamond in the world right now that is older than 400 years is of Indian origin.
That's crazy.
Number 2,
that's
buttons.
Awesome.
Yes, you heard it right. The buttons we use in our clothing on a daily basis was invented by Indians. What you see in the picture is the earliest known buttons in the history of mankind. These buttons with some symbols on it were made out of curved seashells and were excavated from Indus Valley civilization, and they are approximately 5,000 years old. Even though these buttons have tiny holes on them, they were primarily used as ornaments, but later people eventually started using it to fasten their clothes. The discovery of buttons may sound not so important, but imagine the part it has in the fashion industry today. The global fashion industry is estimated to be worth $1.7 trillion today, and indeed now is the best time if you're planning to start a business. And most importantly, if you're someone who's going to do it from scratch, Odoo can be your savior. Odoo is an all-in-one management software that provides...
I'm going to skip the sponsorship, y'all. I'm going to just skip throughout until we get back.
Business A to Z. Time and a store with insert is that use and easy product addition. Now to make it at platform in you forward. Number 3, proper.
I think buttons, are a very underestimated invention. But when you truly sit down and think about all the things, all the clothing that requires buttons or a part of, like, that's when you can sit back and be grateful. There are truly incredible inventions, I think, that we all take for granted that we truly don't think about. But when you sit back and actually think about how important they are, it's like, God dang, shout out India for them buttons.
Toilet and drainage system. I used to get really mad that the drainage system of Indus Valley civilization is being highlighted way too much, while other things like yoga and metallurgy are not being talked about enough. Because I thought the toilet and the drainage system were like the basics until I got to know how bad it was in the rest of the world. This is the toilet from Europe in the medieval period. Medieval period means approximately 1000 to 1500 AD. So it's anywhere between 500 to 1000 years old. This type of toilet is called wardrobe, and it's usually located at the top floor of the castle. The people living in the castle would do their business there, and some poor guy would clean their mess below. In another model, it would just end up straight on the streets. Reportedly, there was no water involved. But in ancient Rome, it was little better. Toilets were built like community places where men sit together and do their business, and the water running below would clear the waste. Now what's disgusting here is they used a sponge attached to a stick to wipe their back after defecation, and it was not a personal property but a public one. A person after using the sponge would dunk it in a bucket of water or vinegar to clean it off for the next person to use it.
I'm literally gagging inside right now. It's disgusting. And I'm not judging. I'm not judging because that's just how it was back then. But I just couldn't live with everything that I know in the life that I live today. I couldn't live like that. Now, had I never known about toilets and drainage, and I probably that's normal. But now I'm like, India, y'all really saved us. Y'all really saved the world with the toilets and drainage system, dog. Like, there's not enough gratitude I can show y'all. It ain't enough thanks in the world that I can give y'all because that was a game changer.
Now let's see the toilet and the drainage system of Indus Valley civilization. The toilet holes would be flushed by pouring a bucket of water, and from there the waste will go through a terracotta pipe and would end up in a cesspit, which is literally what we call a septic tank today. From time to time, these cesspits would be emptied and the waste would be used as fertilizer. And the time we are talking about was 5,000 years back. Now, about the drainage system, many of the buildings at Mohenjo-daro had 2 or more stories, and the water they use in the house again would go through the terracotta pipe and end up in the street drains, just like what we do today. So the concept of modern toilets and drainage system was first discovered in India. Number 4.
I ain't enough thanks in the world that I can show y'all. Because, and I just want to go back on the point. I forgot to even point it out. The fact that all these men were sitting together at the same time in the same room doing their business, it's strange to me. Like I said, normal back then, completely understand it. Life I live, strange to me.
Sugar. 1 in 6 people in the world with diabetes is from India, that is 17% of the world's population. More than 100 million people in India are diabetic, that is 11.4% of the country's total population. So rightfully, we'll have to climb this one. Originally, sugarcane was consumed raw. Like, people would chew sugar canes to extract the sweetness, but you can't preserve it for a long time. So there was a need. Some accounts say that it was during Gupta's period that Indians learned how to crystallize sugar using sugarcane juice. But ancient Indian literature like Arthashastra mentions that refined sugar was already being produced in India. Even the word sugar is believed to be derived from the Sanskrit word sakara, which means candied sugar. So sugar, which literally changed the food habits of the entire human race, was invented in India. Number 5.
Another big shout out to India, because let me just say, soda addiction. My entire life, I've been addicted to soda. Right now, I mean, I guess it's zero sugar, but Coke Zero as I watch these videos, and I drink them all the time now. But like, a life without soda isn't a life that I want to live.
Steel and metal works. Oh my god, this is the most underrated one. Ancient Indians were literally the gods in metallurgy. Have you been to Qutub Minar? There's a 1600-year-old iron pillar from Chandragupta's second period. It has been standing there and open in the sun and rain for 1600 years and it has not rested yet. Now imagine how advanced Indian must have been in metallurgy. For over 7,000 years, India has had a high tradition of metallurgical skills. We can actually back it up with two sources: archaeological excavations, literary evidences. The first evidence of metal in the Indian subcontinent comes from Balochistan, where a small copper bead dated back to 6000 BCE was found. By 3rd millennium BCE, the Harappan people mastered the art of metal casting. They melted metals like gold, silver, lead, copper and bronze and made variety of objects and ornaments out of it. In an excavation in 1962 near Udaipur in Aravalli Hills, some copper tarts, quartz and glass-like materials were found which dated back to 1800 to 1600 BCE, and those glass-like materials were actually the waste product of the copper smelting industry. So this proves there was a systematic copper smelting industry there some 3500 years back itself. Not to mention the first ever form of steel, wood steel, was invented in India. It's not exactly clear when it was invented, but the earliest mention of this was found in the Alexander's invasion in India. It's said that Alexander was gifted 2.5 tons of wood steel by Porus. Number 6, rulers are scales.
That's pretty cool. So they invented metallurgy. When she said that before, I didn't know what it stood for. So it sounds like melting steel down or copper or whatever, gold, whatever down, and making different things, different objects out of them. I think that's truly an incredible skill. I've never understood how to do any of that. But I think that's truly awesome.
Honestly, not many of us know about this. Scales or rulers, whatever you call it, it was first used by the people of Indus Valley civilization. Multiple measuring instruments were found at Mohenjo-daro. Significant among them were the scales made of ivory that was marked to about 1.6 millimeter. All over the region, the bricks are made of one size. The ratio of the length, breadth and thickness of the brick was 4:2:1. Same size bricks were used for construction all over the region. Number 7, cotton. India and its
I don't think you think about how important rulers and everything are. Just if you had to live life without them, it'd be tough. And for India to have them way back when, it's incredible. It is truly incredible.
Never-ending story. As per the latest archaeological evidence, cotton was probably first grown at Mehergarh, which is currently in Pakistan, about 7,000 years ago. So far, this is the earliest known to the mankind. And the Indus Valley civilization started cultivating cotton around 5,000 years back. Herodotus, an ancient Greek historian, mentions that Indian cotton is from 5th century BCE, which is 7,000 years ago. By his account, we can also see that Greece was still unaware of cotton at that time. Number 8, the concept of university. Imparting education has always been an integral part of India. The Guru Shishya Paramparya exists, only God knows since when. But the concept of university, that also belongs to India. The first ever university in the world, Dakshashila, was established in the 5th century and is approximately 2,500 years old. It had 300 lecture halls, a library and a tower for astronomical research. Chinese traveler Hunsang wrote in his diary that it had more than 10,000 students and 200 professors. That includes Panini and Chanakya. Students from as far as Babylonia, Greece, Arabia and China studied there, and the university offered 60 different courses in various subjects like science, mathematics, medicine, politics, astronomy, music, religion, warfare and many more. Number 9, zero. This one we all...
Yeah, I definitely got to give a shout out to you for creating university. Your boy graduated from college, and let me just say that was such a fun experience for myself to be able to go to school, be able to meet amazing people, but also be able to learn things that I wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. Well, I guess I could have still studied books and still done research on my own, but college was just a place that I felt comfortable at, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to go. Shout out India, Indian universities. I appreciate you.
all know, zero might mean nothing, but the world of mathematics is nothing without it. The modern life we are living today, the technological advancements we have today would not be possible without the discovery of zero. The invention of zero made calculations much easier, helping mathematicians to create fields like algebra and calculus, which eventually led to the development of computers. You know, in 5th century BCE, Greek philosopher Parmenides claimed that nothing cannot exist. If we have to speak of something, we can only speak of something that already exists. After the birth of Christianity, religious leaders argued, since God isn't everything that exists, anything that represents nothing must be satanic, and they kind of banned using zero at all. But still, people used it in secret. But here in India, the whole concept of Hinduism and Buddhism is the nothingness, sunyata or nirvana or whatever you call it. So naturally, zero was born in India.
That's awesome, and that's very interesting that to think there was a time when people thought nothing, if there was nothing, it was satanic because nothing cannot exist because everything exists within God. So it's hard to truly wrap your mind around when thinking about the concept. We'll continue the video, but yeah, we need zero. Zero is obviously a humongous and a gigantic invention. So again, India. Thank you.
10. Yoga. The whole world knows that the art of yoga was first discovered in India. Yoga is an integral part of India. Even the smallest gestures we make on a daily basis, like namaste, sitting cross-legged, are a form of yoga. But one thing we fail to recognize is how advanced is the science of yoga. In 1985, Harvard scholar Herbert Benson and his team visited a Tibetan monastery in the Himalayas, and they found that the monks practiced a form of yoga to control their body temperatures. And the team filmed the monks using their own bodies to dry wet cloths when the outside temperature was like minus 20 degrees. And the monks slept on the rocks peacefully when the temperature was like minus 20 degrees at 15,000 feet high. And they were dressed in light shawls. Even today we have videos of yogis meditating almost naked in the freezing Himalayas. How do they do it? We have this Pashupati seal, a Mahayogi seal from Indus Valley civilization, where a man is sitting in a yogic posture completely surrounded by wild animals but still undisturbed. We have many such seals from Indus Valley civilization, so we can clearly say the people of Indus Valley civilization were not the beginners exploring or experimenting with yoga, but they already mastered the art of yoga. And that means yoga must have originated even earlier than the Indus Valley civilization period. Even the contemporaries like the Mesopotamian and Persian do not have any representation of yogic poses. Here we are not trying to discover whether yoga was originated in India or not. That's not even the debate. My point is, I want you to understand how advanced the people of India were back in that time compared to the rest of the world. Today we have so many studies and research about the benefits of yoga, about its magical powers. But imagine back in that time, the people mastered this art when the rest of the world was living in caves. India has always been a step ahead of the world. I agree that we had a bad phase in the history. We went through a lot of bad things. But I think it's time for us to bounce back. I guess we are doing it already.
Dang. I feel like shout out India. I don't know too much about yoga. I feel like I can't even sit cross-legged. Like, it's sad the amount of non-flexibility, I guess I'll word it like that I have. I can't sit. I'll be doing that all the time. But yes, I feel like yoga is absolutely such an incredible invention. As you can see, like the fact that they were sitting out freezing cold weather, would sleep on rocks at 15,000 feet high, these monks, and just be perfectly cool. These monks are meditating in snow. Beard looked frozen, just cool. The ability to change your body temperature to be perfect is, or maintain it to a certain degree, is insanity to me. Like, I think you truly mastered your mind. You truly mastered. That's beyond what humans can understand. I think that's definitely into another being of a a higher plane of being. I don't know, a higher plane of consciousness. I don't even know how to say it, but it's truly incredible. That's all we have with this video. If you guys enjoyed that, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Check out that video next.